and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to the most electrifying podcast in all of internet radio today. You are listening to the Sports Wire. Today is Saturday, November 9th, 2019. It's a somber day for me. Back 19 years ago today, my grandfather passed away. My name is Vinny Apsella, of course. He was more of a father to me, and it still affects me from time to time. But I know that he gives me strength to be the man that he wanted me to be, and if I could be half the man that he was, I think I'm doing good in life. His name was John Vitti. Passed away 68 years old, and he was born on July 9th, which is funny because that's the same day as Kevin Nash's birthday. My grandfather obviously being the most influential man in my personal life, and then Kevin Nash being one of the most influential men that I watched on TV, in terms of, living vicariously through him as a teenager and school, and because I was, in my teens, I was born in 81, so during the whole Diesel and NWO era, I was in my teens and early 20s, and, during school, Kevin Nash Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan are my all-time favorite wrestlers, and, I definitely lived vicariously through Kevin Nash at the time, and them both having the same birthday of July 9th is, a big thing in my book. But my grandfather passed away 19 years ago today during surgery on his heart, and it's still, like I said, it still affects me. So rest in peace, in all the time. Always praying to you and for you, and I love you and miss you every day, Poppy. But anyways, after that, I want to thank you all for listening. Again, this is the Sports Wire on Anchor.fm, and I want to thank you all for definitely listening and downloading. You're definitely helping out the Sports Wire, whether or not you're actually sponsoring or supporting the show. You're hearing the ad at the beginning, and that's support enough, absolutely. But if you're interested in supporting the show, go ahead, donate. But more importantly, this month, if you were thinking about supporting the show, I recommend you go to my No Shave November page. It's no-shave.org/member/VinnyA81. The link is on the Anchor.fm page. Go ahead and donate there. I am doing No Shave November. I am shaving my head still, but my face, I am growing a beard. First time I've ever done it. So go ahead and donate whatever money you might have thought about supporting the show with. Donate it to that. It's for cancer research, as always. Again, my name is Vinny Apicella, and you can listen to the Sports Wire on the majority of the major platforms out there, in terms of podcast platforms. So, with that being said, first of all, I want to apologize for last night's show. It wasn't the greatest. I was really tired. As you know, I record these overnight while I'm at work, and I was really tired last night. So there were a couple times where I was yawning, and it probably came through on the show. And I probably should have just skipped the day, but I put it out, and I kind of rambled on about politics and some other stuff. But today, okay, so I did watch SmackDown tonight, which was a great show. It furthered the NXT Invasion storyline. Now, granted, SmackDown and Raw were both taped today in the UK, in Manchester, England. I don't know why they taped Raw today. They could have taped it over the weekend. I don't know what their schedule is for the tour, but apparently because they want to have Raw from Manchester, they could have taped Raw tomorrow night. You know what I mean? But they taped both Raw and SmackDown today, and so the spoilers are out there. I am not looking at the spoilers. I saw one spoiler for Raw, and I'm keeping it to myself, and I'm not looking for any other spoilers. As far as SmackDown goes, tonight was great. you're not going to have as great of a show as last week, because last week was, one of those things where it was a surprise show. We didn't know what was going to happen. Like, the normal SmackDown, roster was not there, with the exception of The Miz and Daniel Bryan and, the women. But having the NXT fully invade last week was absolutely fantastic. And, it kind of, to use an old term, popped the territory. It got the viewers in because it was unexpected. Now it was how they followed up with it, and I think they did pretty well. They're still building for Survivor Series. Now, they had Imperium from the NXT UK brand jump Heavy Machinery. And for those of you that don't know, Imperium is Fabian Aichner, Martel Bartel, Alexander Wolf, and Walter, the NXT UK champion, or WWE UK champion. But, so those four attacked Heavy Machinery and then hightailed it out when the rest of the SmackDown babyface tag teams came out, or babyface wrestlers came out to lend the assist. And then Shayna Baszler was there again to attack Bayley after she successfully defended her title against Nikki Cross. But I have to say, it was Sasha Banks that defeated Nikki Cross tonight. Bayley was out at ringside. And then they were both beating down on Nikki, and Shayna Baszler came out to attack Bayley. But I really enjoyed the show tonight. I didn't see Miz TV, which I thought I was going to. I didn't see, some of the things that I thought I was going to see, but either way, it was a really good episode of SmackDown, and let's see how they do with how Raw is coming up on Monday. Like I said, it's pre-taped from today, so we'll see what it's going to be Monday. I did get a chance to finish watching NXT. I'm in the middle of AEW, halfway through. And I got to say something. First of all, if you saw the ratings, this is the closest ratings that we've had. And it's simply because of what happened, what's been going on with the NXT invasion. AJ Styles and the OC invaded NXT this past Wednesday. So the ratings definitely showed it. They both jumped, both NXT and AEW both jumped in the ratings. They both got over 800,000 people. First time they both jumped up in the quote-unquote Wednesday Night Wars, but they were only separated by about 6,000 people, or something to that effect. Maybe a little higher, but they were both in the 800,000 rating range, and it was very, very close. And actually, one of the segments, I believe it was Tainara against Santana Garrett. That match on NXT was the first segment in NXT to beat the opposing segment on AEW, 813,000 to 806,000. So it was a monumental night for NXT, and I want to see what they're going to do going forward. And I think, in my opinion at least, NXT has the better storytelling. And we've said it before. The advantage that NXT has over AEW is that they're part of the WWE system. They could have anybody from Raw or SmackDown on their shows. Having Rhea Ripley come over from NXT UK was a good pickup, especially considering she's going to be part of the first ever women's War Games match. But having AJ Styles and the OC come down and being the main event on NXT against Tommaso Ciampa, Matt Riddle, and Keith Lee, and then to have the Undisputed Era come out and get involved, and then Finn Balor come out and kind of tease a Bullet Club reunion, or a club reunion, a Balor Club reunion, so to speak, considering all four of them are heels now. Good TV. Really good TV, and I'm really excited for it. I really am. So we're going to see how that's gonna unfold and play out. See, AEW, going to the other side now, they don't, number one, they don't have the depth of good talent. And what do I mean by good talent? And of course, my views are a little different than some of the other people's views. To me, guys like Jimmy Havoc, Joey Janela, Orange Cassidy, and some of the other gimmicks that they have are not good talent. So I don't consider them when I say, the depth of the roster, because they're not good talent, in my opinion. So when you have, and even their women's division is very, very lackluster. And the reason why I say that is their women's champion is a 98-pound Japanese girl who nobody has ever heard of before, and in terms of mainstream wrestling fans, okay? So nobody's ever heard of Riho, and, they had a 98-pound girl, Japanese schoolgirl lookalike, beat Nyla Rose, who, in reality, Nyla Rose is transgender, okay? She was born a male and transitioned to a female. In all reality, if you're going to do something legitimately sports-based, Nyla Rose will kick Rio's ass any day. Now, and I fully believe that's how it should have been. Nyla Rose should be dominating that. And the only person that could possibly stop her is Awesome Kong. And that would have, set that up. But I haven't seen Nyla Rose on AEW Dynamite in the past 2 or 3 weeks. I've seen her say that she's on AEW Dark. I do not watch AEW Dark because I know it's on YouTube, but I don't watch it because it showcases a lot of the garbage wrestling that, quite honestly, doesn't interest me. So I don't watch it instead of complaining about it. With that said, AEW doesn't have that talent to draw off of. Like, obviously they have guys that they've signed. They have, Jake Hager, who hasn't had his first match yet, kind of got a little physical involved, but he hasn't had his first match yet. I don't know what the contract states in terms of, wrestling with his MMA career or whatever. So they just don't have that depth of talent. Coming up tomorrow night is, or tonight I should say, is AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view. I will not be ordering it. I can't afford the pay-per-view price. Not to mention, I would only really be interested in 2 matches, and that is Cody versus Jericho for the world title. Stipulation being that if Cody loses, that he can never challenge for the AEW title anymore. I'm looking for Jericho to win. The other match that I would be looking forward to is Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. And it's more for Jon Moxley because I want to see how they're going to do it. It's a lights-out match, unsanctioned, so it's going to be at the end of the pay-per-view. They're going to turn the lights off and turn it back on and say it's, use that gimmick. But they've used that gimmick so much already in the first, 6 months of existence that they're going to end up ruining the gimmick. And it's going to end up being just a regular match, just quote-unquote unsanctioned. So it's hard to... It's kind of hard to... I don't want to say rectify, but it's kind of hard to promote something like that as being special, as being, a blow-off match when it's kind of the norm now. Moxley had a lights-out match with, who was it? Was it Joey Janela already? Then there was a lights-out match with Joey Janela and I think it was Kenny Omega, if I'm not mistaken. And, so it's kind of one of those things where they've already done it so much. It should be spaced out. But, that's on them, of course. Then you have, Riho defending her women's title against Emi Sakura. Again, two women that nobody really knows. Then you've got B. Bea Priestley against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She's a dentist. There's no title on the line, so there is some kind of storyline there. Then you've got Santana and Ortiz taking on the Young Bucks. You've got SCU defending the tag titles in a three-way triple threat tag. It'll be SCU defending against the Lucha Brothers and Private Party. This past week on AEW Dynamite, Private Party defeated the Dark Order for the bronze medal in terms of being in third place. The loser's bracket, so to speak, of the tag team tournament. That was stupid. I'm sorry, there is no bronze medal in wrestling, in pro wrestling. You either win or you lose. You don't, there is no third, every other tournament, there's no loser's bracket. So that was dumb. That was a dumb gimmick. If you wanted to have Dark Order face Private Party, then that's what you do. You have Dark Order face Private Party. But you don't have to name it a third, a bronze medal thing. So with that said, it's just really, really dumb. So like I said, AEW has some good things going for it, and some bad things going for it, of course. But then again, NXT, WWE, it's the same thing. They all have good stuff, they all have bad stuff going for them. Stuff they could improve on. With either way, with both of them, with both companies, the matches are just way too long. And it's one thing if it's going to be a good match. Like two superstars going at it, two really big names, like the 6-man tag at the end of NXT, or even, the way the AEW started with Pac against Trent. That was a good match for what it was. I don't like the idea of Orange Cassidy being in there, but, whatever. But it seems like, especially on AEW, all the matches are like 20 minutes long and stuff. And it really shouldn't be. That some of them need to be squash matches. You have to build up the talent. The tag match, even the tag match with Dark Order and Private Party was a good match. And then, that match would have been okay to go through a commercial break. But it seems like every match is at least 15 to 20 minutes on AEW. And it really shouldn't be. It really, really should not be. But it is what it is, right? Okay. With that being said, seems like our time clock stopped working. Anyways, going off on a tangent there. I want to thank you all for listening again. My name is Vinny Apicella. There's really not much else to go over. Tomorrow night, when I come to you, I will talk some General Hospital for you, because it's getting good. I like the storylines you're doing. Blast from the Past came back today on today's episode, and I'll go over the full week recap tomorrow, right here on the Sports Wire. Remember, Sports Wire is just a name, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be all about sports. But again, my name is Vinny Apicella. I will be with you tomorrow night. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at @TheApicellaSWE. Follow SportsWire on Twitter and Instagram, at SportsWire Audio. Email us, sportswireaudio@gmail.com. Visit our anchor.fm page, www.sportswireaudio.com. And like I said, donate to No Shave November, which the link is at our anchor page, but it's www.no-shave.org/member/VinnyA81. And, like I said, you can find us on every major podcast platform: Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Radio Public, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review and subscribe. And you'll get great content every night, for the most part, every day, every night. And thank you all for listening. Again, my name is Vinny Apicella. We'll see you tomorrow on the Sports Wire.